Do you have to report your parents' income on the FAFSA? Hi everyone, I'm Tina Steele, the FAFSA Guru, and if you like what I have to say, be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the link below. Today I want to talk to you about filling out the FAFSA with parent information. I often get this question from students that are under 24 years old, and sometimes even parents, as to why parent information needs to be reported on the FAFSA, especially if the student is not even living at home. So let's talk about that. The government considers students either dependent or independent based on a number of factors. When a student is considered dependent, that means in order to submit the FAFSA, they have to put all of their parents' income and asset information on the form and submit it. There are some certain circumstances that would qualify you to fill the FAFSA out without your parents' information as an independent student when you're under 24 years old, and they are as follows. One of the first things that will make you an independent student and not need your parents' income on the FAFSA is your age and date of birth. If you are under 24 years old, then you're required to report parent information on the FAFSA. If you will be 24 years old by January 1st of the year that you plan on starting college, then you're no longer considered dependent and you will not need your parents' information. So for example, if you plan on starting college in the fall of 23 and your date of birth is prior to January 1st, 2023, then you will be independent when filling out the FAFSA form. Now, there's some other situations that would make you an independent student if you're under 24 years old. If you're married or separated but not divorced, then you don't need your parent information. If you're a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces, the same thing applies. If you are homeless or at risk of being homeless within the last year, and that can be certified by a homeless agency or organization, then you would not need your parents' information. If you'll be working on a master's degree and you've already earned your bachelor's degree, then you will be considered independent. Are you currently serving on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces for purposes other than training? If so, then you would be considered independent. At any time since you turned age 13, were you a ward or dependent of the court, or are both of your parents deceased, or were you in foster care, or are you an emancipated minor? If any of those things applies to you, then you can fill out the FAFSA form without your parent information. And then the last thing that would qualify you to fill out the FAFSA with just your information if you're under 24 years old is if you have dependents of your own. So if you have a child or children that you're providing more than half support for, whether you're married or not, then you're automatically considered independent and can fill out the FAFSA on your own. Now, I know this can be frustrating for a lot of students, especially students who are out there and self-supporting or whose parents make a lot of money and it's actually going to hurt them when it comes to financial aid. But unfortunately, these are the guidelines set forth by the government and there's really no way around it. Occasionally, college financial aid offices will grant something called professional judgment, where they will make a dependent student an independent student based on certain circumstances. This used to be something that they did more freely, but guidelines have really tightened up about this, so it's not something I see a lot of these days. But if you're a student that's under 24 years old and you're living out on your own, fully self-supporting with a full-time income, maybe you bought a house, or maybe there's a situation in your family, documented estrangement or abuse or something like that, it might be worth reaching out to the college financial aid office directly and asking them if there's any way you could be considered an independent student. Again, this is not something that's very common or granted that often, but it's something to try. So to answer your question, can you fill out the FAFSA without your parents' information? One of those circumstances must apply to you that I just went through in this video in order for you to do that. I hope you found this video helpful, and I offer a free initial 10-minute consult call to anybody that I've never worked with before, whether you have general financial aid questions or want to learn more about the programs and services that I provide. Just visit my website, thefafsaguru.com, and you can schedule it there. Thanks so much for watching.